1 year, guys.
Bag up, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse. Oh Lord, Lord Jesus. Oh Lord.
1 whole year I have been on the tube. Um, I cannot believe this. When I started a year ago, I started off pretty rough. I was filming with one hand and trying to do stuff with the other, and it wasn't working out too hot. As some of you have seen in my past videos, I kind of went over I talked a little bit more about what my expectations were when I first started and how they've changed since then. When I first started, I was going for the fame. I was going for the money. I was going for the free stuff. I was going for the, you know what, these guys are doing this on YouTube and they're making all this money and stuff like that. I'm entertaining. I'm funny. I could do this too, and it'll be no problem. Well, it wasn't long before I learned out how hard this is. Um, and I shouldn't say hard. I mean, it's not hard. It's fun. I like it. It's fun. I'm always trying to better myself. I'm always trying to better my videos, but I'm also not losing sight of what's going on. Um, I started collecting retro games again when my friend had won a. I shouldn't say one is the wrong word to say. Actually, I mean he had gotten his father-in-law's brother, so I guess you can call him an uncle-in-law, had passed away. They inherited a storage unit, and this thing was packed full of about two of everything retro game was. Two systems of each, almost two copies of each game. And he got all this stuff, and it really pushed me. I seen all the stuff he got, and I was excited to see everything he got, and I was really like just amazed by it. Sorry that I'm just kind of noticing that it seems like the balance is a little off. Either way, so back to the story, I was just amazed by this, and it made me really think of, well, I've got a Nintendo somewhere. I've got a Sega somewhere. So I went back to my mom's house and I found all my old stuff, which wasn't much because over the years it had disappeared. And over time, I looked more into the retro game scene and seen that it was booming. I did not know how big it had become. Everybody, I mean, the the NES Classic released, sold out almost dang near instantly, and was on back order. They had to re-release it. So when the SNES Classic came out, I worked at Walmart at the time, and I knew the people in electronics, and I said, put one aside for me. And, I grabbed one right when they came out, got one, and then, it just kept booming from there. And then I found all these awesome guys on YouTube. At the time it was just Metal Jesus Rocks, Riggs, uh, Reggie, and all of them. And oh man, I was amazed by what these guys were doing and how much fun it seemed like. And I loved those video games from when I was a kid, so I really started looking more into it. And it first started off simple. Try and get the games that I had as a kid, so I can relive my glory days. But then after that, it was just like, I want to play the games that I never got to play when I was a kid, because we weren't poor by any means. We weren't in poverty. We weren't like that. We were just a typical family at the time, too, that I never got many games. I rented a lot because that was all we could afford. But when you're a kid and you rent games, you might get 2 hours to play that game before you already had to take it back, so you didn't even get to enjoy it. And I was just like, look at all these games that I can buy now that I couldn't enjoy as a kid. So I really got into that. I started buying all these games. Mega Man's, Resident Evil. I mean, obviously Resident Evil ones when I got older and stuff like that too. But then it just kind of became an addiction, man. And I'm not lying. Like, it just became an addiction. And every time I saw deals, I would scowl. Like Batman, Facebook Marketplace, Mercari, eBay, anything that I can get just a smidge of a discount on, and I was snagging these things up. The NES collection that I have behind me right now, that was probably acquired within a couple months, and that's not very good. I was paying a little bit, probably more than I should have. I wasn't going to garage sales, and I just got addicted to it right away off the bat, and I just started going too hard, man. Um, so that first year was crazy. And then I just, we bought this house. We tried to get going on that. And then I started doing, I wanted a game room. So I started building this down here in the basement. And then it went from there, man. Um, but once I had this collection amassed, I was like, what now? What do I do now? I started doing this stuff, and then I didn't have very much time to play the games. I could play them here and there, but I didn't have very much time. And a lot of fathers out there and parents in general, not just fathers, parents in general. So you have kids, you got jobs, you got a mortgage, you got all this stuff, and it's hard to find job. It's hard to find time to sit down and play and enjoy a game. Because back when I was younger and I didn't have anything else going on, I could sit there for hours. I mean, I remember one time I think I sat there for 10 hours straight and played Final Fantasy 7 or 8. I can't remember which one it was. I sat there that long just to get up to eat, just to get up to go to the bathroom, and then run back in there and keep going. That is crazy. Now I'm lucky if I can find a couple hours to play. But I started getting all this stuff built up. And I started seeing all these guys on YouTube, and I'm like, I can do this. So like I said in the beginning, I started for all the wrong reasons. I started just, the sub for sub, get me to 1,000 subscribers, and then at one point it was getting crazy that I was almost willing to pay somebody some service. I wasn't. The thought had crossed my mind. I really wouldn't have did it, but it was like $200 to get 1,000 subscribers or something like that. And at one point, a small part of me considered it. And then I was just thinking about, I have my family, I have all this stuff, and how much money I can actually use on that one to buy more games. And I was just kind of like, okay, the addiction's taking over a little bit more. I don't know about that. But that's what it was. It was kind of sickening in the beginning, doing it all for the wrong reasons. But then I started talking with some of the other guys in the groups. There was a few guys that I started getting more to know, and then we started growing our channels together. And it was just crazy since then how much this has just changed. My whole concept over this. I mean, it went from being more about trying to become famous, trying to become more, just wanting, expecting stuff to be handed to me, to doing this out of passion. It was almost at one point like there was a void in my life, and I mean, this is just becoming probably pretty deep now, and I'm just comfortable talking about this, but it was almost like there was a void in my life, and my YouTube channel kind of started filling that. Yes, I had the games, yes, I had all this other stuff, but I didn't have a way to express myself. As a lot of you know, I work a hard job. I work 12-hour shifts. I work swing shifts. Every 2 weeks, I got to switch from days and nights. I have 3 kids, 2 teenagers, 1 toddler, and my life is pretty much filled up with stuff that I almost didn't have some me time. I don't know how to describe it. And my wife and I both agreed on it, that we both needed to find something for each other that would, that we could let ourselves go, that we could let ourselves have something that was ours, because the kids were, soaking us up. And we were becoming zombies. She jokes around being called a zombie because she was just so wore out and stuff like that. So I needed something to do at nights, and playing video games was cutting it for good for a while. But I'm not very artistic and stuff like that. But I do enjoy trying new things and going that way. And I love this. This is fun to me. This is great. I mean, there are some nights when I obviously can't do much when I'm on day shift because I want to be with my family. But when I'm on nights and I have to stay up and I have to swap over, I love this. This is great. There's sometimes that I stress myself out on videos, getting them out, wondering if I did too great a job, or wondering if I didn't do a good enough job on the video. How much is it gonna suck? But I got some good advice from Spruce GH. I won a giveaway from him, and he sent me a nice typed letter up saying, and I've said this several times, and I'll keep saying it because I got to keep reminding myself that he said that, you know, if it stops becoming fun, YouTube, then stop doing it. And that's what my philosophy has been from then. The minute that this stops being fun, the minute this becomes too stressful that I'm dragging myself down here to do videos because I don't want to, I might either quit or take a break. And I've seen guys do that before too. I've seen a couple guys on Instagram and on YouTube that are starting to come back because they took a nice break, recollected themselves, and are making videos again. So that might be something down the road that might happen if it becomes too much to handle. But as of right now, I'm at a happy medium. I'm having the best time doing this. I'm making a bunch of great friends. We're all having fun doing this together, doing challenges and everything, and just, you know, we all want to see each other grow, and we're here to support each other. And, you know, I am always down for supporting other channels. You know, give me a link. I'll check out your channel, and if, you know, we share something in common, I will support you. And I don't necessarily ask for you to support me back. If you want to do that, that's great. More power to you. I'll and stuff like that. But I'm here for helping you guys out too, because I know how much just one comment can mean on a video. Reading something that someone either agrees with you or shares the same, you know, passion about something that like when I was doing my video game tours and stuff like that, and people were just like, "Oh my god, that's so cool how you have that!" Like I was getting so much comments about my cardboard cutout of Darth Vader, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, it's awesome." And then they're like, "Man, that is so cool." And then where can I get one? And just comments like that, because at first it started off being almost just views. Like that's all I cared about was views. And then it was just like I cared more about then people talking more to people, because I've always been kind of shy, and you can almost see that in my first videos that I do, like this one. Look, I've been talking for 12 minutes now about nonsense, just jabber jawing. And when I first started doing this, I was having trouble kind of coming up with things to say. I didn't know what to talk about. But this is just a passion flowing through me again. And I might be rambling. It might be because it's 2 in the morning and I'm trying to stay awake. But yeah, man, those videos were just, oh, the comments are great. And I told some guy that wanted a giveaway. He said, thank you. I said, no, thank you, man. You guys make this. I used to be very selfish about stuff, holding on to stuff, a miser with money, everything. And ever since I started doing giveaways, I just love doing giveaways. And I guess this is what this video is coming to at this point, is actually to talk about my 1-year giveaway. And we talked about how great the community is with this, and not just people on the internet, local. My buddy, he helped me put this PC together, and I talk about this in a bunch of videos. I'm sorry if I keep repeating myself, especially if you have seen all my videos and I just keep talking about this. But if you haven't seen all my videos and you're just here now, my buddy, he goes by Darnez on Twitch and stuff like that, but he also goes on Instagram as Sturgill's Spare Parts. He just started a business locally in his free time. He's building PCs and stuff where people are repairing them. So, you know, I was telling him about my struggles with my laptop that I had and my Elgato and stuff like that, and how it was hard for me to do all the stuff that I really wanted to do because I didn't have sound. I didn't have the capabilities of making great videos. Well, I shouldn't say the capabilities of making great videos. Streaming stuff and trying to do recordings, and it would take forever to upload and everything like that. And we said, well, let me help you out, man. And we bought a PC case together. He was building at the time. He was building his newest PC, and he was putting so much, you know, and he had all these spare parts afterwards. So he hooked me up, and we built this freaking amazing computer that just represent me as a whole. You know, the Fallout. I love Fallout series. I have. I haven't played, you know, the original ones on PC, but at 3 and up were my favorite games for the longest time. And we found an awesome PC to do that on. So we put all that together, and he just saw the kindness of heart, and we got that going and everything, and it's just, God, it just, and then his just his givingness, his awesomeness, and he was the total opposite of how I used to be a long time ago when I was, I mean, as some of you might know, I'm a recovering alcoholic addict. I was really into meth. I was really into alcohol. And at 26 years old, I sobered up, and I've been sober for almost 7 years now. I don't tell many people about that on my channel because I try to keep it pretty upbeat and stuff like that. So I used to be this very selfish guy, and seeing kindness out of people like him really pushed me to be a better person too, even in my sobriety. So he did that. He hooked me up, and then he doesn't use the Elgato, and I'm getting pretty good at using it now. So that was my choice for how I would record stuff. So he hooked me up with an Elgato Pro internal in there. So I had this one left over. Now originally I was just gonna sell it. It's valued. I think I saw him go on Macari for $60 and stuff like that. So this is $60 value. I was gonna sell it, put the money aside for something else. But then I got a little notification on my thing on my YouTube buddy that I was coming up. I think it was on that I was coming up on 1 year on YouTube. And I was like, this is a great opportunity for a giveaway. You know, I used to do, depended on how many subs I had. You know, if I got 300 subs, I do a giveaway and stuff like this. But 1 year anniversary is amazing, and I'm surprised I'm still going. I was really giving up, almost ready to give up at certain points because I was not going as fast as I thought I would. But we already talked about that. So after all this, this is my thank you back to you guys. Obviously, you know, not everybody's gonna win it. Only one person can get lucky. I am gonna do a Gleam giveaway on this one too because some of the crooked people out there. So my last giveaway, I did a wind spiel, my spin wheel on the thing, and one of my friends on here, now friends, won. And I told him to get a hold of me on Instagram. Well, somebody got a hold of me on Instagram, and I gave him the code. And then a couple hours later, the other person got a hold of me on Instagram. And luckily, they were able to get the code and get it going again. But just the fact that somebody would go out of their way to screw somebody out of getting a game and stuff on a giveaway just kind of pissed me off. So we're going to do Gleam because it's a little bit more safer. You guys put your emails in, and when it picks it, it shows me the email of the actual person that entered. So there's going to be multiple ways to enter. And obviously the prize is a used Elgato. You can see me in the reflection. What's up, buddy? It's a Game Capture HD, so this is a couple versions ago, but it still works great, 1080p and everything like that. You get that. You get the power cord. And I'm even going to throw in one HDMI cord, one that I've been using for a while. It's a pretty good long one with, I believe it's gold connection, so it's great, high-speed one. But I'm going to be throwing that all in. No charge for shipping. I'll have a couple ways to enter. One of the main ones is going to be to help support my buddy, Darnez. So one way to enter is going to be to visit his Instagram so you guys can help show him some love, like all the love he's shown me. And then, obviously, just some other ones like visit my Facebook page, visit my Instagram, and some other stuff like that. So, I've been dragging this on long enough. So, there will be a link below for the Gleam. How to enter. All you got to do is just click on the link to get into it. And I don't know exactly off the top of my head after editing and stuff how I'll figure out exactly what the deadline is. I'm going to try and probably push it towards maybe April 1st. I know it's April Fool's Day, but that'll give us about 2 weeks or so, or whatever, to get through to it. So that should be a good amount of time. I don't want to push it off too long because then it just kind of gets forgotten about and stuff like that. So we'll do about April 1st as the deadline for when we will choose a winner. And yeah, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for everything. Thank you for keeping this channel alive, keeping me going, and not really much else I can say, guys. Thank you.